My name is Craig Dockery. This is the first marathon I've ever run.
I'm Bob Coughlin. I'm 45 years old, started the Flying Pig Marathon and Paycor, a payroll service company. We gear the Flying Pig Marathon to what is called the mid-pack runner, which means the slower runner, or typically it's the runner who's doing it for charity or maybe for their own reasons. They're not worried about winning the Olympics.
It was around the first of the year, and I think it was like a New Year's resolution more than anything. Where, you know, Cindy, my wife, had run a marathon before, and she's like, "You want to do the marathon?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do the marathon." And then, you know, you get into it like 8 weeks into it, and you're running a lot every other day, you know, and you've told all these people you're running a marathon, and then you realize you're in it a lot.
When I first started thinking about the marathon, I set down a number of goals on paper. But one of the things I wanted to do was to make sure that it wasn't just what I would call a club race. And there's a lot of small marathon events that nobody ever hears about.
Realizing the amount of effort that it takes, you know, and there's been a lot of times in my life when I'm working on something that's hard and I want to say, I just want to be done with it. I'd rather just erase that from my memory and not have ever had to do that, you know. But when I'm in the middle of a long run and I get tired and I don't feel like moving on to the rest of it, I feel like if I stopped right then, it'd be a cop-out, you know, because anybody could stop. You know, it's the hard thing to keep on going. I run with my wife, and we've run with another couple, and, you know, when you're doing that, you don't want to be the one that chumps out and be like, "I'm too tired," you know. So that helps push you. It's like the fear of being ridiculed, I guess.
I got into running. I've always run a little bit, but never been a serious runner, just enough to keep my weight in check, kind of a casual runner, I'd say, going out and running 3 or 4 miles. I started Paycor in 1990, and I was working around the clock.
I do worry a little bit about getting through it, you know? I mean, the hardest runs that I've had are when it's hot, you know? Like, we ran when it was 7 degrees out, and you got like 3 layers of everything on, and that wasn't so bad, because if you get hot, you just take one of your 6 pairs of gloves off, you know?
I decided in 1994 to run the New York Marathon, having not run really more than maybe 4 or 5 miles, you know, go out and run in a 5K, a short race here and there, and got on a 6-month training program and got hooked. Subsequently did 10 marathons.
Training for the marathon has taught me a lot about discipline and a lot about just the amount of effort it takes to really do something that's impressive, you know.
But I wanted to have an impact. And to me, it meant you had to think big about everything. You couldn't think small about half the stuff, like the course and the finish line area and advertising and things like that, but think big about how many people you wanted.
One of the things that I've learned about the Flying Pig Marathon is that it really is a pretty good marathon in terms of all the ones across the country that you can run. You know, it's got a great crowd and it's got a very interesting course and it's really well organized, and you know, it's in a good time of the year, so you're not gonna get beat down too awfully bad. It's a tough course, you know. It's tougher than a lot of them, but it's nice. It feels like we got a real marathon, you know. It's not like just some, you know, cheap half marathon kind of thing, you know. Like it really kind of holds its own on the national scene, I think.
Well, the first year we had, I think, 6,000 runners approximately in the marathon, and it kicked off big. I mean, it was a surreal weekend for me because you work on this for 2 or 3 years, you got it on paper, then all of a sudden it's there, and 6 hours later it's done. You know, it goes very, very fast, it seems. But I remember standing on the starting line. I let off the gun with who was then Mayor Qualls. I watched all these people run by, and I was like, wow, look at all these people that have come to Cincinnati, you know, to do this event. It was kind of awe-inspiring.
Are you going to be embarrassed if your wife beats you?
No, because if she's running ahead of me at the end of the race, I'm gonna push her down, and then I'm gonna run in front of her. So, not really. So maybe.
Hey guys, we are how far into it? We're about to hit mile 16. Feeling pretty good. I don't really have anything constructive to say, except that Andy's walking as fast as I'm running. Okay, see you soon. Quit stalking us.